Hey everybody, welcome to the second day of the Imagination Yoga 14-day activities. I am Jessica with Imagination Yoga, and I am here today with my family, Avery. This is Avery, this is Jack, and this is Shane. We're coming at you live from our living room because that's where we are. We just wanted to say hi and spend the next little bit of time doing some partners yoga poses together. So we've all washed our hands with soap and warm water. We've already asked each other if it was okay to do partners yoga together, because that's always an important part of doing partners yoga. So we've positioned our yoga mats. You don't have to have yoga mats to do this, but we've positioned our yoga mats so that they're facing one another today. If you have a yoga mat, go ahead and roll it out, but if you're doing this on a carpet, that's going to be just fine too. It's great to do this with a partner, but if you don't have a partner, you can actually do most of these yoga poses in a chair, or just follow along and do the yoga poses by yourself. But if you've got a partner, join them. Let's see, we've got Avery and Jack as partners together. Shane and I are partners here, but of course we can also have, you don't have to necessarily be same size to do the partner poses together, but that's the way we've got it organized. So first things first, we are going to start with the big full yoga breath. So if you could go ahead and with your partner face one another, sitting comfortably. We're sitting crisscross applesauce here, and sit with just a little bit of space between you. Decide amongst yourselves who is going to be partner one and who is partner two, and then hold up the finger of which partner you are. You know which one you are? Two. You all know who you are? Shane, you want to be one or two? Two, okay, I'll be number one. Okay, so partner number one, we're going to have you lead your partner in the big full yoga breath. So if you're the leader right now, you get to do the big full yoga breath. If you are the partner two, you just get to follow along and do exactly what your leader says. So everybody start with your hands together at heart center. Here we go. And for the first one, let's just actually do it together. So we're going to take a deep, big breath in. And exhale. Great, let's do it again all together. And the third one. Okay, now partner one, you kick in. Go ahead, lead your partner in three big full yoga breaths. Partner two, follow along. It's okay to be tricky. Ready? Nice. Again. Yeah. Here we go. Wonderful. Now go ahead and the second partner gets to be the leader, remembering that the benefits of this big full yoga breath is to help us find calming in our bodies. So partner two, go ahead, you're the teacher now. Partner one, you just follow along as a student. Okay. Wow, that was a really good one. That was really deep. Okay, here we go. Woo! Little snake action. And then making sure you've got your third one in pretty soon. Wonderful. So as you can see, when you're doing this partners pose stuff, you can be a little bit silly sometimes, but again, we're always finding ways to connect, because that's what yoga means, right? Yoga just means connection. So we're connecting, we're finding our calm, and we're moving our bodies. Okay, let's move into our second yoga pose now. We're gonna do the side stretch. So to set this one up, turn and face so that you're sitting next to your partner. You're gonna wanna be kind of close. You can see with Avery and Jack, their knees are not quite touching their knee, but they're kind of close to each other. Now everybody take your hand that is closest to your partner and set it down on the ground next to you. Wonderful. Take your hand that's farthest from your partner and set it down on the ground. Maybe your fingertips just touch. We're going to bring a little bit of mindfulness in. When we bring mindfulness into any yoga pose that we do, that helps us drop into what we're doing right now. So I want you to take a moment and notice the texture below the hand that's furthest from your partner. Give all of your attention to that. Now notice the texture and the temperature of the ground underneath your hand closest to your partner. your attention to that. And now we're going to begin to lift the hand that is furthest from your partner, but do it slowly. Do it slowly, begin to lift it. Notice the temperature of the air on your hand, on your palm, on your arm. You might be getting close to your partner's hands, but don't touch yet. Don't touch yet. So when you get close, with all of your attention now, touch your partner's thumb. Touch. Take a deep breath. Touch your partner's pointer finger and breathe. Your middle finger connects. Your ring finger. Breathe. And your pinky connects. Take a deep breath. All 5 fingers are touching. See if now you can work together. Keep your fingers touching. Can you look underneath your arm and take one more deep breath? Underneath your arm. Nice. Now, we're going to go with just as much mindfulness to unwind this side stretch. So this time, disconnect your pinkies and your ring finger and your middle finger and your pointer finger. Now, before you unconnect your thumbs, I want you to give all of your attention to the way that that thumb feels that you're touching. And then, as slowly as we came in, we're going to come out. So let those thumbs disconnect. Bring that hand down. Bring your attention back to the air on your arms. Slower, slower. And notice if you wanted to move quickly and see if you can slow yourself down. Wonderful. Okay, so now we need to do side stretch on the other side. If you're at home and you want to, you can just turn around. But since we're on TV and we want to be facing you guys, we're actually going to switch sides. So 1, 2, 3. Everybody switch yoga mats. Here we go. Because we've got to do the other side. Great. Great, great, great. Okay, hands come in, just like we did. So crisscross applesauce is best. Sit up really straight, your shoulders are back, and your hand that's closest to your partner connects on the inside. Wonderful. Your hand that's furthest from your partner comes out. Yeah, you guys are great. Your opposite hand furthest from your partner comes out. Everybody sit up really straight. Yes. Now, bring that mindfulness back in. Feel the ground and the temperature of the ground underneath your hand furthest from your partner. Bring all of your attention to your hand. Now bring all of your attention and awareness to your hand closest to your partner. What is the temperature? What is the texture? What parts of your hand are touching the ground? Okay, now we're going to start to raise our arm and hand that is furthest from our partner. So right now, keep it down on the ground. Notice if you're ready to move quickly. There we go. And begin to lift your hand furthest from your partner. We're going to do this side a little bit differently. So before you jump ahead, wait for my next instruction. Don't touch anything yet. What we're going to try to do on this side is see if you can bring all 5 fingers to, not yet, all 5 fingers to touch at once. When I count to 3, we're going to have all 5 fingers of your hand touch all 5 fingers of your partner's hand. 1, 2, 3, touch. Did you do it? I'm sure you did. Now, this is one that Jack taught me not too long ago. Once your hands are connected, can you bring it so you open your brave heart out? Open your, nice. You guys, sorry. Haha. Got interrupted there. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Spider push-up. Fingers are back where they were. Just like this. And so look up here really quick. Notice if your arm, can you bring your arm up? Yes, we're side stretch. Yes, notice. And then spider push-ups, spider push-ups, spider push-ups, spider push-ups. And we're going to, on the count of 3, unconnect all 5 fingers. So all 5 fingers should be touching. 1, 2, 3. Disconnect only for an inch. Only for an inch. And then slowly bring your arms down, 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 all the way to the ground. Wonderful. Okay, my friends, now we're going to move into the next yoga pose. So that's going to be boat pose as a partner. This is one of my personal favorites. So to get into this pose, what we're going to do is turn and face your partner. Your feet are, and actually I'm going to have Shane and I switch on this one again, but you guys stay right where you are. Your feet are flat on the ground for this one. Your knees are bent, and the tips of your toes are touching the tips of your partner's toes. And then what you're gonna do is reach your hands out on the outsides of your legs, and then go ahead and hold hands with your partner. It's really important in partners yoga that you never pull or jerk or tug on your partner. That's really, really important. I hope that's not happening to anybody, but I just did want to call that out. Okay, now holding on to each other's hands, see if you can open up your heart here. Yes. Okay, now bring one of the soles of one of your foot and on the same side as your partner, lift that up. And then here's what's really important. Press into that foot, not to knock each other over, but it's going to be the working together that helps you get into this pose. So pressing into that foot. Now bring your attention to your other foot. Toes come together, bottoms of your feet come together, heels come together, and you come all the way up into boat pose. Now maybe some of you your feet can go all the way up and your legs can get straight. Maybe not necessarily. See also, once you're up, can you hold your feet where they are, but let your hands disconnect and hold it? 3, 2, 1. As mindfully as we came in, let's come out. Bring your feet back down to the ground. Awesome. Just like that. Fantastic. Okay, let's do it again, but maybe I was thinking it might be kind of fun to try this one with different partners. So Avery, actually Jack, I'm going to have you come work with Shane. And Avery, I'm going to come up here and do boat pose with you. Okay, everybody, one more time, let's do this again. So just like we did before, feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent, just like this. Hands come out, yep, just like that. And we're on the outside of our hands. Yeah, there you go. Sit up really straight, yes. Lift up one foot, the bottoms of your foot. Oops, there you go. The bottoms of your feet come together. Ooh. You don't have to be the same size to do this one together. And then the opposite foot, when you're ready, lift it up, up, up. And you might be able to go all the way up. Whoa. Push it. Woo. If you fall out, that's okay. Press your feet into my feet, Avery. She's very bendy. And then come all the way down. Boat pose. That is a really, really fun one. What do you guys think? Should we do it one more time? No. 2 times is enough. I think we should do it one more time. Then we'll be done. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Feet come up. Sorry. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Can we come up together? Wow. Nice. Press into my feet. Nice. It's the press into each other's feet that actually gives you the leverage that you need. Let your hands go. Let your hands go. 3. So graceful. All right, everybody come down. All right, boat pose. That's a great partners yoga pose to do together. Okay, the next pose that we're gonna do as a group is the spinal twist. This is an interesting yoga pose, and it's gonna take a little bit of setup, but once we get there, you're really gonna love it. So what I want everybody to do is come forward, so you're still facing one another, but sit close enough so that your knees are almost touching. So again, this is one that while we're practicing social distancing, we would not do in a regular yoga class, but since we are self-quarantining at home and we've all been here together for the last 4 days, this is safe for us to do together. So here's what I want everybody to do. Raise your right arm in the air. If you don't know which one is your right, maybe have a grown-up help you. Your right arm comes into the air. Now take your right arm and place it on your left knee. So it should be across your body. Now, take your left hand and put it behind your back. Left hand goes behind your back. Great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. So my hand that is on my knee is going to leave my knee and reach back to connect with the hand that is behind Avery's back. Got that? And then Avery's hand is going to leave her knee and come back and grab the hand that's on my back. And then what we do to complete this twist is look away from our partners. Now, everybody sit up straight. There's no pulling here. There's no pulling. Take a deep breath and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Release your hands first and then unwind. Beautiful. That was a full spinal twist on the first side. How'd that feel?
Good.
Feel pretty good? Okay, good. We're gonna do that on the opposite side. So this time, everybody, lift your left arm in the air. Left arm up. Okay, take your left hand across your body to touch your right knee. Take your right hand and put it behind your back. Okay, so one partner reaches their hand and grabs your hand behind it, and then this is really important. Sit up really straight. Yes, and then look away from your partner to complete that stretch. Breathe deep. When you inhale, maybe your spine gets longer. And when you exhale, maybe you find your way into the twist a little more. One more inhale. And exhale. And then gently unwind the twist. Full final twist on both sides. That was awesome. Okay, my friends, now we're going to do a downward dog as a partner. This one is really fun. I'm actually gonna have, I'll just show you this one. So Avery, I'm gonna have you come into downward dog, please, facing me. All right, just like this. And even though I'm gonna go and I'm much bigger than Avery, I'm gonna have my weight in my hands, so this is gonna be safe for Avery. So I'm gonna show you first, and then I'll have you join us. So what I'm gonna have you do is Avery, one partner is in downward dog. The other partner is gonna have their hands a few feet in front of their partner's hands in the same direction. You see that? And that's gonna be the front of my downward dog. So then what I'm gonna do is I am on my hands and knees, I'm gonna pop up into downward dog, and then I'm gonna lift one foot up to come onto Avery's hips, and then my other foot comes up onto Avery's hips, and most of my weight is in my hands. And then I can send my hips up to the full downward dog. Then I can step down carefully and find my way all the way back. Oopsie. Sorry, my hair got in the way there. All the way back down to the ground. You want to try Jack?
Sure.
So the thing about downward dog like this is partners, you can have as many people as will fit in downward dog. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be the base for this downward dog. I'm going to come over here. Come into downward dog. Then Avery's gonna come into downward dog with her legs up on my hips, and then Jack's gonna come up into downward dog on Avery's hips. Each of you can try this at home. This is the important part. Make sure you're pressing down into your hands, and that the person that's first is really set in downward dog before anybody comes up into it. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you all ready? Hopefully, so that first person come up into downward dog now. And then that second person, place your hands in front of the other person. Yep. And then Avery's gonna lift her legs up and she's gonna place her legs on my hip. Yes. And then Jack, we're ready now. You can place your hands in front of Avery. And then once you're up, everybody breathe. And then when you're ready to come down, step one foot down at a time, Jack. Step one foot down at a time, Avery. Great. And then I can come down onto the ground, just like that. Fantastic. If you want to, you guys can go ahead and do it again. Jack and Avery, why don't you two just come up into it? Jack, why don't you be the base?
Okay.
And then Avery can come up into it. Again, we'll give you all just a second to play because downward dog as partners is really fun. All right, so Jack's there. There they go. Once you're up in it, don't forget to breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 3, 2, 1. Avery, go ahead and step it down. Great, good job, everybody. Okay, then what we're gonna do next is another really wonderful partner's pose. It's tree pose, which you're all familiar with in practicing yoga. But with this one, I think we might have to move the camera just a little bit. So bear with us just for a second here. Shane, you can stay where you are. Whoop. Great. All right. So for tree pose, what we're going to do is practice that when you have somebody that you're connected with in tree pose to help you balance, it makes this pose a lot easier. So we're actually going to come into a little bit of a circle here. Yes, just like Great. And then what we're gonna do is reach your hands out. We're not gonna hold each other's hands or grip. We're just placing palms together, just like that. And then, because then what we're doing is we're supporting each other in this pose. So lift one foot up, and at first, if you want, you can just bring your heel to the opposite ankle. If that feels really stable, maybe you can go a little bit higher because we're supporting each other here. What's really important though is that you make sure that the leg that is lifted, that foot stays either below the knee or above the knee, but never on the knee. We don't want to press into our standing leg knee. It's not good for that joint. Find that place. Maybe you can go a little higher today because you're supported. Find that place. 3, 2, 1, and that's right. And the next thing we can do is, if we're feeling really strong, we can raise our hands up even higher just because it feels good. And then hands come down, feet come down. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Great, great, great. Okay, of course we're gonna do it on the opposite side now too. So same exact thing, hands come together. But again, we're not gripping, we're just leaning, we're leaning into each other if we need it. So first things first, feet stay down. Makes it a little easier when your hands are touching first. So hands are touching, great. Hands are touching, and then place your opposite foot. So whichever was the opposite foot, whichever one you didn't do last time, lift that foot into the air. And at first, just start with keeping your toe down. We got to do this one, even though we know where we're going, let's be where we are. We know where we're going, but be where you are. So lift your leg to that final position that's going to be for this one, all the way up if you'd like. Great. And then once you've found your balance, everybody's found their balance. Hands together, kids. Hands together, kids. And then raise your hands up as high as you can go. Being mindful of different arm lengths here. 3, staying down on your flat foot. Wow, you guys, your tree pose is amazing. 3, 2, 1. Great. Hands come down, feet come down. Everybody go ahead and sit down on the ground, but we're going to stay in this circle facing each other. Jack, I'm actually going to have you move over and be next to Daddy. Hi everybody. This is so fun. I just have to say that this is, I don't know if you all can see this, but people from all over the place are watching. So if you're in your house by yourself and you feel like you're by yourself right now, you're doing yoga with a bunch of people. And that's really, 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 really fun. Okay, so I'm gonna move this camera one more time. Dude. Just like this. Okay, great. So what we're gonna do here is sit with your legs out straight, just like this, and we're gonna make a circle with our feet. Wonderful. And I think we're all in here. Okay, great. Great. So that your feet should be touching just a little bit. Yes. And then your feet are active here, which means your feet are pointing up towards the ceiling, and you're sitting up straight, sitting up on your sits bones here. And if that means you need to bend your knees a little bit to really get yourself to sit up straight, go ahead and do that. So your hands should be on your thighs. Wonderful. Sitting up really straight. So Jack, bend your knees a little bit. Jack, bend your knees a little bit, and then sit up straight. Yes, just like that. Sometimes if we have tight hamstrings, bending our knees just a little bit can really help here. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to reach our hands up, and we're going to lean forward, jazz hands in the circle, and then, if you can, all the way up, and then can you sit yourself counting backwards from 5 to get all the way down to lying flat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shane almost had enough space. Now, using your super strong belly muscles, lift yourself all the way back up. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come up. Jazz hands in the middle. Jazz, jazz, jazz. Baby, 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 baby. And then again, hands come up. And we're going to take 5 seconds to lay flat on our backs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then lift yourself back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach your hand to the center. Hands, 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 hands. Great. So really quickly, just bring your attention and your mindfulness to your feet. So move your body so that your feet are right in the center, making a circle. So maybe the sides of your feet are touching each other. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Wave your toes at each other. Wave your toes at each other. Wave your toes, Jack. Wave your toes. Wave your toes, Avery. Wave your toes, Jack. Avery, Shane. Okay. All right. The next pose is our second to last pose. So what we're going to have now everybody do is we're going to stay in these groups that we already are in. You can be switching partners if you'd like, or stay with the partner that you have. And again, choose the partner that, who's going to be partner 1 and who's going to be partner 2. For this one, I'm actually going to be 1, so I can teach how to do this one. So, sorry, but that wasn't very much help. You two can decide who's going to be 1 and who's going to be 2. Okay, so if you are partner 2, please come down into child's pose. So child's pose, for those of you that maybe are remembering, so with child's pose, your knees can either be together or separate. It's up to you. It's nice if the big toes are together. Then you're going to bring your belly down towards your thighs and then your head down towards the yoga mat. If you need to, you can of course stack your fists here, but what we're trying to go for in child's pose is that the front of the forehead is moving towards the floor and is supported by something. We don't want anybody to be hanging out here. If this is uncomfortable for legs or for ankles, you can of course have a pillow underneath your buns or underneath your ankles. Hopefully the intention of child's pose is to find a restful place to be. So once one of the partners is in child's pose, actually, I'm going to have Shane work with Avery and I'm going to work with Jack, just so that it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so first things first, this is a great pose to practice consent. So I always make it a point, anytime I'm in child's pose or working with a partner in child's pose, to ask permission. Make sure that your partner is okay with you placing your hand on their back. Jack, are you okay if I put my hand on your back?
Yes.
Okay. And really, it's okay. If Jack would have said no, I'm okay. I accept that. I wouldn't place my hand on Jack's back. Shane's going to ask Avery. And here's an important part. If you ask and someone doesn't immediately answer, take that as a no. And what that would mean is me as the partner, what I would do is simply give my intention and give my concentration to that person having this experience. I don't necessarily need to place my hand on their back. It's important to always provide an opportunity for body autonomy and that a person has control over their own body. So if you're the partner that's up, in this case it's Shane and I, what we're going to do now that we have permission is I'm going to place my hand right on Jack's back. This is not to hold Jack down in any way, so Shane, go ahead, yep. If you're down in child's pose, your job right now is to just breathe. Breathe into the place where you feel your partner's hand touching your back. This is not, again, a pressing. This is simply a connection. Your whole hand is connecting. And then bring all of your awareness to your partner. Begin to notice their breathing. Again, if you're down in child's pose right now, just keep breathing and breathing into that hand on your back. If your hand is on your partner's back, maybe you notice that your breath begins to match your partner's breath. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But just notice. All right. And if your hand is on your partner's back, just give a gentle pat. That lets your partner know that you're going to remove your hand. Great. If you're down in child's pose, stay there. When you've been in child's pose for a while, it's going to be important that we transition kindly out of this. So for those of you that just were the partner, go ahead and you now come into child's pose. If you're already in child's pose, stay down. So for example, Shane is going to come down into I would come down into child's pose. If you're in child's pose, I'm going to count backwards from 5. So if you've been, let me be clear, if you've been in child's pose for a while, I'm going to count backwards from 5 now, and I'm going to have you take all of that time to roll up. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. So now that partner that was in child's pose is up, and the other partner is down in child's pose. So I'm going to teach, and Jack's going to do this. So again, first things first, go ahead and ask your partner if it's okay for you to put your hand on their back.
Can I put my hand on your back?
Yes, thank you for asking, Jack. Thank you. So go ahead, if you're in child's pose, and just begin breathing and breathing into that place where you can feel your partner's hand on your back. If your hand is on your partner's back, give all of your attention to your partner. All of your attention means that your eyes are looking at them, or maybe that your eyes are closed, but your body is facing them and you're thinking about just them and their breath. Nothing else. If you're down in child's pose, just breathe. If your hand is on your partner's back, maybe you begin to notice that your breath starts to match your partner's if you're giving all of your attention. Go ahead, if your hand is on your partner's back, give them a gentle pat and then remove your hand. And if you're down in child's pose, I'm going to count backwards from 5, and we're going to slowly roll ourselves back up to sitting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Child's pose as a partner. So a couple important things I want to call out on that pose is, number 1, that is an incredibly calming pose to do. For any of you that might be feeling a little more anxiety than normal, that is a really, really helpful yoga pose to place yourself into if you found it to be restful. But that additional component of a partner where they're just connecting with you, giving you a point of focus to breathe into, can be additionally calming. But the other thing that's really important is something is occurring in your body called mirror neurons. When you go into a pose such as child's pose, that causes a physiological response to go into that parasympathetic nervous system where your body begins to calm. If your partner's hand is there, they begin to mirror the calm that you're experiencing. And then as a result, you begin to mirror the calm that they're experiencing. So we're basically working together to create a calming experience for one another. And again, this can be really helpful to do if it's nap time, at bedtime, or if you're in a position that you're feeling particularly heightened and you just need to go into that calm place. It's best if you can to stay down for 5, 6, 7 breaths. But again, start where you are, and it's never a matter of holding a child or a person down. It's just a matter of connecting. So I encourage you to continue to use that one if you found it to be helpful. Okay, so to finish off today, we're going to finish the way we have finished all imagination yoga classes, is with kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts. So go ahead and face your partner, just like this. Great. And you can actually, we don't have to be particularly close to one another like this, but your hands do come together at your hearts. Before we say kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts, however, I always think it's kind of nice to end Partners Pose classes with a little bit of loving kindness. So any of you that may be familiar with that ancient practice, metta meditation is another way that it's called. We can offer our partners a little bit of loving kindness. So what I would encourage you to do now is look directly in your partner's eyes. Just look directly in your partner's eyes and then offer them a little loving kindness. So repeat after me to your partner. Say, may you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
And may you be healthy.
May you be healthy.
Yeah. And really take, of course, any of those words that I just said can be changed out, but taking an opportunity to directly offer loving kindness to a person is a beautiful, beautiful practice. So, all right, hands together at heart center, sitting up really straight. We're going to finish it off with 3 kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts. Join us, friends. So here we go. Kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts. Kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts. Last time. This time, this is going to be a promise. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine the face of someone that you love, that you absolutely love. And inside your own mind, so don't say it out loud, I want you to use your kind words to say something kind to them in your mind. Maybe it's I love you, or maybe it's be safe, or maybe it's I'll see you soon. But use your kind words. Then open your eyes. Here's your promise, friends. If that is a person that you can see, if that is a person you can call, if that is a person you can connect with, I hope very, very much that after you finish this imagination yoga class, you find a way to share that kind thought with that person, because when we have kind thoughts and we share them, it's one of the most important, loving, kind things that we can do. So let's seal that promise together. Kind hearts, kind words, kind thoughts. The best in me honors the best in all of you. Be safe, be well, take care of one another. Namaste, everybody. Join us tomorrow. Jamie will be back doing another adventure with us. Thank you very much.
Bye.